Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Placer County Fiscal Court, where we do business for the people. So glad to see each one here. As our usual, we'll do a 30 seconds or so of moment of silence, and then I've asked Mr. Branshaw to lead us in the pledge. But if anyone has any concerns or thoughts or comments to make, keep you in their thoughts and prayers. All right. Everyone a bow for a moment of silence. Thank you. Will everybody please stand, face the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item of business would be to approve the minutes from the January 14th court meeting. They are minutes. We've had a chance to look over them. Any corrections or deletions?
Motion.
Mr. Renshaw to approve the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Strunk seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First item, we'll go to old business. We will have the second reading of the electrical inspector ordinance that we talked about the last meeting. This will be the second reading. We'll make it official.
Yeah, and the only difference between it and there were no changes between the first reading and today. The only changes to the original ordinance, all the fees remain the same as in the original, the ordinance 340.8. and except there was a $25 permit fee added, and the 4 electrical inspectors to be that would be approved by you guys is Jackie Spears, Michael Ledger, Larry Strunk, and Ron Ebling. And it was advertised, right?
It was
Floyd?
advertised. Yes.
Yeah.
We need a motion on that. Need a motion to
Motion.
accept the ordinance.
Second.
Mr. Trunk makes a motion to accept the ordinance, and
Just for the record, that money
Perkins seconds.
goes directly to the inspectors. It doesn't come through the county.
We do not handle any of the money. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. In new business, I had a resolution come in since this was published in the paper from Lake Cumberland Ad. I think we have it in front of you. It's from Lake Cumberland Ad. We had approved a resolution in September the 10th for up to $1 million for the ad to purchase 86 apartment units in Pulaski County in Somerset, basically, and to turn them into senior housing. And they came back with another tag-along grant for another $50,000 to do some paperwork and some purchase of some other stuff. And I was needing to pass that resolution so they can proceed with another grant application.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Makes a motion, and Mr. Rancho seconds.
This is just a pass-through grant?
It's a pass-through, yes. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. That will bring us to the department reports. First up would be our jailer, Mr. Anthony.
Good morning.
Morning, Nancy.
As you all are aware, I try to put a lot of emphasis on our reentry programs for the inmates, to get them educated as far as having, a GED or some type of diploma or something to where they can enter the workforce once they are released from the detention center. A little while back, I was contacted for Dr. Loy from the Cumberland Family Medical Center, and they were going to apply for a grant that was going to kind of enhance this program that we've started. They were able to get this grant, which covers the full salary and benefits of my employee who had already been doing this. So with your all's permission, Judge, I'd like to have Tracy Anno with the medical center to come up, and she was kind of the one that spearheaded this grant and kind of give you some details about it.
Good deal.
Morning, Judge, Fiscal Court. Thank you for letting us come, and I appreciate the jailer letting me come this morning, and brought a co-worker with me. I am Tracy Antle. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Cumberland Family Medical Center. We're a federally qualified health center that covers a number of counties. Pulaski is one of them. Our administrative offices are in Russell. And like Mr. McCullum said, we had an opportunity to apply for a grant last summer that would allow us to provide transitional services for detainees as they leave detention. We're not coming into the jail to replace anything they're already doing. They're already doing a great job. They already have a really strong reentry program. This grant would just allow us to help those folks re-enter the community more successfully by making sure that when they get out, they have a doctor that they can go to. You know, a lot of times you leave a detention center and you're getting your medications for your diabetes or your heart disease or your whatever you may have, high blood pressure, and you leave, you don't have a doctor anymore. And it's hard, you know how hard it is to make an appointment at a doctor's office sometimes. So we want to work with those folks to make sure that as they leave, they can, the very day even, come into a clinic somewhere, get the medications they need to be healthy. They've got their new job skills that they're taking with them, that they're already being provided. We'll also help connect those folks with any mental health issue treatments that they may need. Addiction issues are huge everywhere. We can help hook them up to mental health providers. For their family counseling if they need it, for individual counseling for substance abuse disorders, and anything like that that they may need. So the things we're going to be providing will not be replacing anything you've already got. We're not billing for anything. It's at no cost to the jail. It's at no cost to the county. But we want to partner with the Pulaski County Detention Center through this grant opportunity to see if we can take these folks as they leave incarceration and help them make a more seamless transition back into the community through jobs, through health care, through behavioral health, through substance use issues, whatever their needs are, to make them return to the community more quickly, more safely, and in a more productive manner. The grant that we've gotten does require an MOU agreement, and I've shared that with the jailer, and I think he shared it with you all, and it just merely outlines what we're going to provide. He's going to provide us some space for our program director, Ms. Brittany Luttrell. We'll be working hand in hand there, along with other providers that we have. We'll be coming and going and working with detainees and staff there. It is part of our grant requirement that we have the MOU, just showing that we have established a partnership with the county. So if it's the will of the detention center and of the fiscal court, we would enjoy being partners with you on this project and using these grant dollars for hopefully the betterment of Pulaski County.
Yeah, I think I've already sent the MOU to you. I think Martin's already reviewed it too. So, like I said, this pays the full salary and the full benefit package of the employee that we already had doing it. So I think it's a win-win for the county. With your all's permission, I'd like to have your all's motion to accept that MOU.
Make a motion, we accept that.
Second.
I've got a question. How long is the
It's a two-year
grant?
grant. It's a two-year grant. After 2 years, it can be renewed depending on, it's a federal grant through the U.S.
Through HRSA, the
Health Research Center. So it's a federal grant and can be renewed after 2 years.
Thank you.
The party can terminate it with 60 days notice. So.
Yeah, so if it's not working for either party, then we can terminate it with within 60-day notice, yes.
Thank you.
I have a motion by Mr. Strunk and a second by Mr. Wilson. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks, Anthony. Thank you.
Judge, with your permission, I'll leave this with you, and I'll pick it up for you after court.
Did you get all that?
Next report will be from Emergency Management. Chris?
Morning, Court. Thank you for taking the time to hear me this morning. I thought I should do a couple of things. I should first of all give you all an update on where your county program has been since I took the chair about 45 days ago. First thing I did is I drafted a winter storm plan. We didn't have one, and that concerned me a great deal. We have a significant homeless population, and we didn't really have any plans or programs in place to deal with that, or to look at how this county would respond to a winter storm. And as it turns out, well, we had 2 of them in a fairly short order. So that was one of the first things that I went after. And by doing that, of course, we utilized our rescue squad and our SRT assets. I'm sure most of you are familiar with what their capabilities are. But just to give you some highlights from that, they did 71 total responses, 27 by rescue, 44 by SRT. They were doing transports of essential medical personnel and several BLS transports in support of Somerset-Pulaski County EMS. So I feel like that's a very good partnership, and that's something that made a big difference during those 2 events. We also did a food drop-off for the warming center down there at the church. They were good enough after some coordination through me to do some 24-hour operations during some of the, especially the real bitter cold periods of time. And so coordinated with the judge and with God's Food Pantry, and we got to them some necessary supplies so they can continue to do those 24-hour ops to take care of that population. So I looked at that as a big success. They also took care of a stranded motorist. And if you all remember a couple years ago on I-75, what a mess that turned into, and so they were able to take care of that rather quickly and make sure that that situation didn't get out of hand. We've also established communication with the Chamber of Commerce. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the ESFs we have to have to run an EOC, but one of those ESFs is ESF 15, and that particular position, what they primarily do is they're going to be the folks that are going to help me, and through me, the judge, be able to be aware of what resources we have in the county through our private entities. Good example is, are we going to be able to know if Kroger's running low on water? Are we going to know if Lowe's is running low on lumber? Are we going to be able to respond appropriately in the event we get a major issue? And so I've opened up conversations with the chamber, specifically through Mr. Clue, and he's already given me some names of the folks who are going to probably staff that ESF 15 position. So I'm pretty excited about that. We've gone ahead and in compliance with the KRS, we've appointed a county search and rescue coordinator. After consulting with the judge and consulting with a bunch of the other folks, I've selected Derek Denny, who is your current chief of the rescue squad. Mr. Denny brings, he's been chief of the unit since 2023, brings over 15 years of experience to the position. He's also got advanced diver, BSAR, and extraction. He's an extraction expert, so I feel very, very confident that he'd be somebody that can handle that. So we've gone ahead and done that. We also have now a plan in place to go ahead and certify our county K-9 team. I've been working with the state on that to make sure that gets done. And that's going to allow our county K-9 team to be able to be employed not just here within the county, but statewide. And I think that's a good thing. I think opening up agreements with other counties and other entities is a good thing. We can help them, they can help us, and I like the way that sounds. I like being able to deploy our resources, but also have their resources deployable here if the case were to arise. We've reestablished the Red Cross within this building. I don't know how many of you were aware of the fact that we did not have a Red Cross office, an active Red Cross office within the county. We had Mr. Collier, who was kind of working out of his house, but he really had nowhere to go to be able to meet folks that maybe needed Red Cross services. I was made aware that that was an issue. I kicked that up the chain, and within just a couple of days, we've now established Mr. Collier back here in the courthouse so that folks that need Red Cross services have a place to come to. I found that to be I was rather upset by that, so we took care of that rather quickly. And that also restores a vital link to the resource community. So, any questions about any of the stuff that we've gone and done so far up to this point?
Chris reached out to me, and we've been talking about putting an agreement together that if we were to have an emergency declared here in the county by the judge, and there aren't sufficient resources to address some of the needs, having the possibility of having independent contractors on standby, having agreements with independent contractors. Of course, that would all be brought before the court. I told Chris he'd want to get approval from the court up front on that, so that if there was an emergency, he would have a list of contractors. There would be a pre-agreed upon hourly rate and the services that those contractors would provide. So we are working on some sort of form agreement that would work in that circumstance in the event of a state of emergency being declared here and our current resources not being sufficient to address the needs.
And I would add that's not a conversation about not thinking we can't do it. I simply don't want to have to explain to the citizens of the county why it took us so long to get power turned back on or any of those things. And you know, the men and women of the road department are going to be going out there, and the volunteer fire departments are going to be out there just kicking it. But we've got to be able to, if it gets, you know, as I said when I took this position, if we got another 1974 event, I want to be able to respond to that appropriately, and that's why I've run that up the chain.
What's your plan on getting the committee together to review the whole emergency road plan?
Say that to me again. I'm sorry.
A committee together to review the emergency road plan as is and make suggestions?
So I'm gonna work with Wayne to kind of see what I think he needs. He's obviously the functional expert on that, and I want to get his views on what he thinks he's going to need, and then I want to be able to support him.
I'm talking about the whole county emergency plan.
Okay. Oh, you're asking me about the county emergency operations plan.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
supposed to have a committee get together and.
No, that function falls under me, Mr. Ranshaw. It's my responsibility to do that, but I have to follow state law on a lot of that. And so what I have right now in front of me is a copy of the last EOP that was submitted. I'm not happy to say that it was submitted in 2020. We are current by state. I got a message down from the area manager, Mr. Crouch, that said you are current right now. The state is planning to do a complete revamp on how that plan is to be drafted. They want some very specific changes on how those plans ought to look, and I think what they're looking for there is primarily to make sure that all the plans within all the counties, I'm not going to say mirror, but are at least on the same, have kind of the same concepts, and it would allow the area managers and the state director to be able to look at a plan and say, if I look here, I'm going to find this, no matter which one of the 120 county plans I look at. And so that process is under review right now.
The reason I say that, the FEMA training that I took is usually you set up a committee of government, community, fire, EMS, police, and everything, and they sit down and they review the whole plan.
Well, that's what I'm doing, Mr. Rancho.
Okay.
I'm currently reviewing the plan so that I don't go to them and say, I don't know what I don't know. What I need to do, figure out right now is what do we need, and then I'm planning on going to my functional experts through my ESFs and saying, okay, as a matter of fact, I've got a meeting set up with the sheriff today to talk with him about the role of ESF 13 to see what they would bring to any number of different potential disasters. I already met with Mr. Halcomb, his ESF 4, and I've met with ESF 1. So I'm working my way through that ESF 15 as we previously discussed. Is that that sufficient? Any other questions on that before I move on? Okay. With that in mind, if you folks will turn to, I've given you a couple of handouts. I'm going to put in a request for funding. We need to look at a couple of things. First off, the building that we are currently located in does not currently have any sort of generator or backup power system. I don't have a problem with that because at the time the building was not being used. And so it was a wise decision at that time to reallocate that resource to a better use within the community. And so the generator that was there has been moved out to White Lily. That's fine. That's a phenomenal use for that resource. That allows them to maintain a community operation or a community center, which is valuable to that portion of the county. And I would have said absolutely, if we're not going to use it, let's go ahead and put it into, let's go ahead and make sure it's getting used. But our building now is open and we are preparing. We're doing business there. I've been there for about 45 days. And so I have contacted the vendor to get a new generator, and it's the same vendor that we've always used. And you have it in front of you what the cost of that generator is going to be. And that
I'm
includes
sorry,
labor.
we don't have that in front of us.
They didn't talk to John about. They say he was going to give that to you in folders. He didn't send that up to you. Yep. I did send that in last week, gentlemen. I promise you I did. Okay, I've got it written down here. We'll get that for you. Cost of generator, including labor, is $29,200. Okay, that's going to be a propane-based generator. Of course, we'll have to rent the tank, about a 100-gallon tank for that. But what I like about this generator, it's also going to be I've already had a conversation with the city, and at some point in the future, if they opt to extend the gas line, and I'm hoping that they do, that generator would be convertible to natural gas at virtually no cost. A couple of orifice changes, and I have a little bit of background in that, so that's not a terribly expensive cost. And then that generator would just keep right on trucking, and we would no longer need to use propane. But that's further down the road. So, but I selected that generator with that thought in mind of being able to go forward without costing the county additional resources. We've also, I'm also going to put in a request to move the Emergency Operations Center. And again, you're going to get some paperwork on that shortly. I'll give you the details on that. You're going to have a bid you're going to have two current, I'm going to call them bids. That's probably the best word to use. One's going to be for a little over $28,000. One's going to be for a little over $29,000. That's going to allow you to completely move the Emergency Operations Center from its current location at the bottom of 9 where it's co-located with 911 out to the facility on 914 where I'm currently at. I would like to make a note here that every asset that's currently there is going to be relocated. So we're not leaving anything behind. We're going to be able to completely reuse everything that's there, right down to the tables and chairs, and empty that space out and reallocate those resources to the new center. That's also going to permit the expansion of 911 by about 400 square feet. There's a national level of certification. I don't have all the details. I was hoping to talk with Beverly this morning about that. Obviously, she's had some family issues, and I've not been able to talk with her. But she has indicated in the past that if she could get that additional space for herself, that would allow her to upgrade 911 to more of a national platform, and I think that's a good thing. It does move the EOC to a completely separate location. It builds in redundant backups, which I think is critical for any emergency operations center. It will allow me to do better maintenance and testing. Here we go. I'll give you, ladies and gentlemen, just a second to go ahead and review the numbers. That way you can ask me any questions about that. What I can tell you as you're reviewing those is that will allow me to bring the systems online at a minimum of once a month. and probably more often than that. What I found out is the last time we opened up the EOC for the last winter storm emergency we had, the systems had not been turned on in close to 8 months. And that's simply not the way I feel like we need to do business. I feel like when the bell rings, we ought to be able to answer the call, and we need to be able to do it quickly and efficiently. And so with that in mind, that's going to permit me to not only to bring both the generator and all the systems online. I also would tell you that relocating it there gives you access to 2 major transportation routes, 914 and 80. Its current location, you're all familiar with where the Rogers Center is at. Roads are a little narrow, a little small, hard to get a lot of folks in and out of there. I've got the parking that you'd need, that you would have at, they're not quite as big, but I'm sufficient out there. But having it out there at that location puts it completely separate from anywhere else. So that gives you the backups that you need. And I've also entered into conversations with 911 to potentially put a backup dispatch center out at that facility as well. So I'm going to try to use maximum space out there. Every square inch out there that I can possibly use to get this county, harden this county and get this county ready. We're going to do that. Okay.
Are these 2 separate bids on this sheet?
Yes, they are.
What's the,
RidgeNet is on one side, and so RidgeNet is on one side, and
Connect
Connect
Technology?
is on the other. That's correct.
What are
sir.
these X's for across there?
Okay, I put those there. When I originally got the bids, I was trying to compare apples to apples, and I didn't quite have that, and so I had both companies resubmit, so I could make sure that when I did the comparison and presented it to you folks, that the bids were as close together as far as equipment and services as they could be provided. So.
There's about $1,200 difference.
Yes. I'll give you a moment to look over that so-called bid. We asked for some information on some pricing to make this move. As you can see, Chris has done a lot of work on it as far as making this happen, and I feel like it'll be better for our county to be really prepared. Now, we're not talking about just a windstorm that blows down 2 or 3 trees. We're talking about a major event like a tornado, a major event that would wipe out a subdivision. So we're getting prepared. We're trying to get prepared for all this stuff going forward in the future. So it is going to, we're asking for more than we have had in the past to be better prepared. And I realize the volunteer fire departments are invaluable with their service. They just take care of us tremendously, and if we get a normal windstorm, they got us covered. But as Martin mentioned earlier, working on these contracts with outside companies to clear up, we're not talking about clearing roads in the event of a minor windstorm. We're talking about a major disaster, and that's what we're asking to be prepared for.
It basically would kick in by statute, just kind of like we did in COVID. The county governor can declare a state of emergency, as can the county judge, and basically it's for that circumstance when you would declare a state of emergency in the county based on the event that's taken place.
I would further add to those comments that I had a conversation with our fire coordinator, and I have assured him that I absolutely 100% need my volunteer fire departments. The debris removal that we're talking about is only going to be worst case extreme scenario. And as I said earlier, what I don't want to do is delay power restoration or medical emergencies because we simply just don't have the bodies to do everything we need to do. There's 1,100 and some odd miles of road in this county, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of the folks that are, as far as all the way down in Blue John to Eubank. We got to make sure we're taking care of business, and that's what I was thinking about when I initiated that.
And my vision was of that contract, and what Chris and I talked about is that nothing would really be deployed or entered into absent running through the county judge himself.
That's correct.
And the other heads of the volunteer fire departments. Everything would be coordinated through, beginning with the county judge's office and the EOC coordinator.
Can you explain why we're moving the EOC? And I want to be frank about this.
Please.
Underneath the last judge, they created the EOC that's at the training center now.
Okay.
So
it's-
can you tell the population why we're going to spend more money if we just got done spending money on, if you don't mind?
I don't mind at all, sir. So it's my understanding that originally, when that facility was built, it was going to be for the EOC and the EOC only. And then, as it turned out, we ended up also moving 911 down there. And no objection to that. That's where they felt like they needed to be. That works fine. The problem you run into, sir, is there's a twofold problem there. When you have a full EOC activation, you're going to probably have anywhere between 18 to 20 bodies in that 19 by 25 space. That's really, really difficult to work with. You're not going to have the ability to move. It's going to get very uncomfortable very, very quickly. And you're talking about things that could be an extended period of operational, what I would call an extended operational period. And that's got me concerned. But the other issue that was brought to my attention was that it's very, very difficult for 911 to hear what's going on when you've got 20 people in an adjacent room chattering and talking and on the phone, and phones ringing and yelling across the room and saying, hey, I need this, or hey, I need that, or when I'm standing in the front of the room trying to get everybody's attention, I'm distracting operations for a vital county service in 911. And so the concept of putting them together may have not been the best thought out concept. And so we're left with two options: move the EOC or move 911. I can't see moving 911 at this point. I can see with what I would consider to be not a whole lot of money, relocating the EOC back to my facility, where, again, as I said, it allows me to do a lot of different things. It gives me hands-on day-to-day control of the facility, allows me to continue testing, making sure that things are up and running the way they ought to be run. I was very, very concerned when I found out that we hadn't turned that thing on in almost 8 months. It was a heck of a time. We did well. We were able to respond effectively, but I would not want to test that on a regular basis where we have to not know. And so that's something I want to take personal control of, where if you or any of the other magistrates or any of the other citizens want to come out and take a look at it, I can walk down there and say, yep, we've got this handled, and crank it up and go to town. So I don't think that process was well thought out.
Yeah, I understand. I just wanted the community to understand
Sure.
why we're making this change.
I understand, sir.
The other question is, have we looked, before we spend money out of our budget, have you talked to the state emergency management about state and federal monies available to help with the transition?
There really isn't a specific grant for that at this time. I'm sure, as many of you are aware right now, FEMA is going to be undergoing a major review, and so at the federal level, money is already starting to slow down. That's going to obviously reflect what's going to happen at the state level and further down. We don't have a lot of good answers, and what I'm getting right now is a lot of, we just don't know how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was any state money available.
Not at this time.
Okay.
That's not saying that I won't keep my eye on and any potential grants. Like I am actively looking for a grant to ultimately recoup the loss, the expenditure on the generator. I'm looking for money to take care of that. We got back a $24,660 emergency service or emergency management performance grant at the start of this year. Some of that money is certainly possible to be able to be used for that, and that simply happened because we were able to keep up with the things we're supposed to keep up with. We kept our paperwork up. We kept the state apprised of what was going on, and so when you do things like that, that allows the state to give you certain amounts of money. And it's my understanding that as our population grows, and we expect that it will, I get stuff from the Census Bureau on a weekly basis. Seems like there's a potential for some more money to come from that grant as well, And that does come from the federal level. It comes from the federal to the state, and then the state distributes it out to 120 counties. So I am going to keep an eye on that.
And one other question I have,
Sure.
and that's for the treasurer. This wasn't initially in our budget, so where are we going to be paying this money out of?
Out of the emergency management budget.
And we don't have an emergency man.
We don't.
Let me fill in there. I've
You
looked
will.
up some details on that. We have money available. As all of you know, we haven't had a fleet maintenance director, supervisor there since early in this fiscal year. So his salary is still there. We still have about $45,000 in his salary that's not been spent. And also, we have about $30,000 in reserve for transfer in the emergency services or insurance premium budget that's available that's not been spent. So mainly, it's Frank's salary of over 45 that's not been spent out yet. So it's not going to eat into any more of what the budget was.
Will we have this come in the new budget cycle that we're getting ready to work on? Will we have a separate emergency management budget?
You will.
Yes.
Yes.
I think so.
I have an existing document that was left by my predecessor, and I'm looking that over now, and I want to make sure that it's crafted correctly. I'm looking to squeeze every penny out of it I can and do it appropriately. This is not something where I simply want to just continue to ask for and not be able to produce results. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start my remarks with, this is what we've achieved up to this point. I fully expect that as we go forward, I'll have more reports, more updates for you, and be able to tell you that the funds you've allocated for me are being appropriately used.
I do want
Thank
to
you.
reemphasize what Chris said earlier about the grant he's already received that we didn't know we were going to get of $24,000. He's wearing me out, as you can tell. He's in my office constantly, but I appreciate that because I think we're making some big changes. We had promises of salary, half the salary reimbursement previously, and we've already accumulated enough to take care of a lot of the salary adjustments just by filling out some paperwork that wasn't filled out previously, and I think we're on the right track. We are receiving money from emergency management. I've got well acquainted with the region we're in. As far as that director, he's new, he wants to help us. He's been in my office a couple times, and I think there's money available through FEMA, even though we may be doing a revision. But FEMA and emergency management statewide, he said there's money there, so I feel like we have the guy in charge now that's going to stay on top of it.
Good.
Good deal.
I guess I need a motion to,
Which company here are you wanting to go with, Chris?
You gentlemen are gonna, you ladies and gentlemen need to go ahead and put your best brain on it. I'll give you input in closed session if you'd like. But I wanted to make sure that you folks had a clear and unbiased picture of what you think needs to be done. I have some opinions on that, but we can take those up at your convenience.
would we want to review the two prices we have? Would that be not objectable to the body, or do we want to go ahead and approve one at a time, approve the sales for the emergency power generator? We want to do that up front, and then if you want to take these other two under review?
Well, do we have any other bids for the generator at all?
We do not.
Any local or?
You don't have to bid it.
It's under 30,000.
And that's the contractor that the county has used for any number of years. He's had the contract for, I think, 5 years now.
I think Stacy will have something presented at the next,
Oh, okay.
when he comes up on the generator.
Will we be able
Agreement.
to add this one on to that agreement?
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and buy the generator.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to buy the generator. Motion by Mr. Strunk and second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion on the purchase of the generator? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
So if we already got two bids on the other equipment, one is
Is both these local?
$1,200 less than the other, so.
One's about you're looking at about $1,200 difference. The, Judge, if I may, do you want me to speak on my concerns here, or do we want to do that?
Yeah, you can't do it in executive session, so
I can or cannot?
you cannot.
Just
Okay.
go ahead and tell us what you think.
So my biggest concern with the RidgeNet bid is that they are requesting blocks of service time. And that's got me concerned, because that is effectively money that we're going to have to spend that we don't necessarily get service for. You have to basically it's effectively pre-buying. It's like buying insurance. You
Yeah,
gotta
we
go
already
in-
do that in some areas with
Yeah,
Richmond.
and that does not strike me as an efficient use of the monies you're allocating me. Whereas with the other bid, with Connected, I've got it in there that he will respond within 1 hour, and he will charge us $85 an hour flat during business hours, and $135, I believe is what I wrote down, for anything after hours. I've got a direct phone number to him. And I would prefer, at that point, that right there, to me, is the biggest defining factor between the two.
Where are they located at?
Here.
They're here in Somerset?
sir.
If I can kind of chime in here as well, the RidgeNet quote is not an actual realistic view of what the quote will be. That's $1,400 a month for 10 hours is what we've currently been paid. So, and I think it's what, a 3 or 5 year contract?
I believe that's
So
correct.
that's going to be $1,400 each month for 5 years.
Well, we got that going on now with RidgeNet in different areas.
Yeah.
So we're paying
what I'm saying is
$700 a month here, $700 a month here, and here, and here, and that needs to be consolidated, in my opinion.
29,000 is not a true reflection of what that's going to cost.
And with
So I
Connected,
make a
it is,
motion we do.
Huh?
that is what it actually going to cost with Connected, or?
Well,
no,
Yes.
or-
yes,
It is.
with
Yes,
that.
because I got him to commit to rather than buying a block of time, we only have to, it's effectively the same thing as we talked about with debris removal. He's on standby. If I need him, I'll call him, he'll bill the county, we'll pay his bill and go on. But other than that, there's no
No monthly
cost.
fees.
There's no fee to hold him.
We don't need him, we don't pay him.
That's right.
With RidgeNet, we're going to be paying
Paying whether we
$1,400.
need them or not.
Well, I'll go ahead and make a motion that we accept the bids from Connect Technologies.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Renshaw and a second by Mr. Strunk that we accept Connected Technology pricing of moving EOP from LC to the 091 building. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Anything else from me, folks?
Thank you, Chris.
I appreciate you. Thanks, folks, for taking time to listen.
Next item would be public safety with Mr. Stacy.
Good morning.
Morning.
The Burnside Fire Department surplus the truck fire commissioner and a 2001 Chevy pickup. They're wanting to trade it into some other vehicle at Don Franklin, I think. Just need to ask the court's permission to surplus it.
I make a motion that we allow Burnside to trade in the vehicle.
Renshaw makes a motion. Do I have a Second by Mr. Strunk. Any questions or comments? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Then I've got a Kentucky Emergency Power. It's a service agreement, sales quote for all the generators. Same thing Chris was talking about, where he's getting his generator there a minute ago. This is a quote for 22 generators that we have now that they do a biannual service on. And they also got a monitor system on them that will call us if the generator goes down, or that way I know if it's working or not working or whatever. And they change the oil in them, check the coolant, change the antifreeze. They do numerous things to it. The total for that for a year is $17,800 for this year. It's a little higher this year because we added a couple of generators at Blue John and the West End repeater system. We didn't have backup power at the West End repeater system, what we do now. But and then I would, of course, add Chris's generator to this, which wouldn't be a problem. So it'd be on service.
Motion to approve it?
Motion by Mr. Strunk, second by Mr. Renshaw. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And that would raise the price on a little bit. I don't know how much, but it's just service. I had his for twice a year and everything else, so wouldn't be much difference.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Fleet maintenance, Mr. Bryan.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, Brian.
I'd like to ask permission to purchase a new AC machine.
What was the cost of that machine?
It's going to be $10,496.95.
$10,496.
Yep, 95.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Strunk to approve the purchase of a new AC machine.
Second.
Second by Mr. Renshaw. Any discussion? Reason we need this, the one we've been using is now at Far
Right.
Garage, and we're now at West 80 Garage, so this is an AC machine to work on air conditioning on vehicles.
Yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Next report would be from Wayne at the Road Department.
Morning.
Morning, Wayne.
I'd like to ask for 3,000 ton of rock.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wilson and second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
And I'd like to ask for the road list approval.
We got the road list in front of you. We got a speed limit I need to vote on separate in the 3rd District, 35 mile an hour on both ends of Etna Church Road.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Turpin. On the speed limit, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Now, let's approve the road list as presented.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw,
Second.
second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion on the road list? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne. Treasurer's report, Ms. Chrisson.
I'm looking for approval of December's treasurer's settlement.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw to approve the treasurer's settlement. Do I have a second? We need a minute to look over it.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turpin. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Then I'm also needing approval for the December bank reconciliations.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Renshaw on bank regs.
Second.
Second by Mr. Turpin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. Anyone have any other business to come before the court? Seeing none, do we have any citizens' comments? I don't see any. I'm gonna ask for a motion to go in executive session. It'll be a very short one, and then we'll be back out. You're welcome to stay, but we'll be back in just a few minutes. You'll have a motion to enter.
My understanding it's regarding a personnel issue, is that right?
Personnel, yes.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson.
Second.
Second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor of the executive session, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We will be in executive for a few minutes and be back out. See Chris here, you?
No.
Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Second.
By Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Strunk. All in favor of coming out of executive, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. No action was taken in executive session, but I do want to bring up a new hire. Want to have a motion, entertain a motion to hire Connor Goad as an operator, a backhoe operator. If we can get a motion and a second on that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Strunk and second by Mr. Wilson.
Starting tomorrow.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And he will go to work tomorrow. Any other business? Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Wilson and second by Mr. Strunk to adjourn. All in favor, say aye and stand adjourned. Thank you all.